Errol Spence facing the best on the planet, says Terence Bud Crawford. What about Gervonta Tank Davis? What's good, everybody? It's your boy Cardinal Red Sports. Let's talk about it. Alright, y'all. So, Terence Bud Crawford recently gave an interview, and he spoke about where he feels like he stands when it comes to his upcoming fight with Errol Spence Jr. And I want to ask y'all the question, what about Gervonta Tank Davis?
I asked my followers for some rappers' names, and these are the names they gave me. MC Night Night, 1159, 1201, 1203, 1204. Those are all AMs. Low Donkey, Low Black and Mild, Low Uzi Burn, 21 Darkness, 21 Shadow, Kodak Blacker, Doo-Doo Under the Bed, Z-List Killer, 50 Cent a day.
Alright, so Terence Crawford says he feels like that he is the best on the planet. That he's going to show and prove to Errol Spence that he's not the baddest welterweight. Everything he's done up until now has been a fluke, and it should have been Terence Crawford this whole time. I just want to get my 2 cents on that, how I feel. Is it fact or cap? And what about Tank Davis, y'all? What about Tank? Is Terence Crawford the best fighter on the planet? Is he the number one guy in the welterweight division? And not only the number one guy in the welterweight division, but is he the number one guy in the sport of boxing? There are a lot of names to be thrown in that hat. I mean, we've already heard Canelo come out and voice his opinion about who's the face of boxing. You still got Tyson Fury out there. A lot of people will argue that he is the greatest, in the sport of boxing. You have Vasyl Lomachenko out there who just basically mollywopped the undisputed champion of the world at 135 pounds. A lot of people would make an argument that he's the best fighter in the world. You have Deontay Wilder, guys like Wilder still out there. You got Gervonta Tank Davis, who a lot of people feel like is the real face of boxing, is the best in the business. I mean, you can go on and on and on. There are a lot of names out there. And then you got the Devin Haney's of the world, who's the undisputed champion. You got the Shakur Stevens, who has an up-and-coming name. A lot of people feel like he's one of the greatest out there. And then you got the Boots of the world. You got, you move up into 154. You got the Charlo. There's all type of names that you can point at and say, well, I could make an argument for this guy, or I could make an argument for this guy. But when it comes to Terence and Earl, and, even if you think about just the last year, or what went on last year with them negotiating the fight, and there being so much fanfare around that fight, and a lot of people wanting to tune in to that fight. I think the fight's going to do very well. It might not break Maypac records once again, but I think this fight's going to do extremely well. And why would Terence Crawford feel like he is the best in the world, the best in the business? Listen, I think the fact that he was undisputed, similar to Devin Haney at one time, I think that has blown up Terence Crawford's head, for a lack of a better word. I think that he feels like, well, I did it in the past, I'm going to prove it again, and people are going to have to give me my props this time around. And I agree there. If he beats Errol Spence, then I would have no argument for him. I would agree with him. I would say, yeah, you proved that you are one of the best in the world. But as of right now, I don't see that. I don't think what he did at the lower weights, even becoming undisputed, puts him as one of the best fighters in the world, or even close to it at this point. I think there are just so many other names out there, and so many other great names out there that you could point to and make an argument for. And the fact that he didn't really fight good competition over the past year. People can argue the Shawn Porter fight, the Kell Brook fight. You really can't argue the David Avanesyan fight. So to me, I don't feel like, based off his competition level over the past year and a half, that you could say he's one of the best in the world. I would say that Errol Spence is closer to that simply because of his competition level. His competition level proves his worth a lot more than Terence Crawford's competition level. If you had to make an argument for anybody being the best in the world right now, I think Gervonta Tank Davis has the best argument. If you look at his competition level, it's all been top 10 over the past 2 years. If you look at the way he achieved those victories, they weren't just 12-round gimme fights. You know, he actually knocked his opponents out in all of those fights.
Trash!
So if you look at the way he won, if you look at the fact of his competition, if you look at his sales, if you look at all of those things, his venue sales as well, you would have to say it's Tank Davis. It's not anybody else, it's Tank. And Tank's been doing consistent numbers even better than Errol and Terence Crawford, you know, which is crazy. He's been doing somewhere around 300 to 400,000 consistently, 5 to 6 on a really good night, and over 1 million if he's facing up with another superstar. So, you know, I totally disagree with Terence Crawford here. I don't think he is the best in the world. I think he has to beat Errol Spence to prove that. And I feel like Tank Davis at this point is the best in the world. And it's crazy because he can't even get the fights that he needs to prove it. He can't get people to want to fight him, you know, for titles so he can actually prove how much he's worth as a boxer. You know, I'll be surprised if Devin gives him a shot. But that's a possibility. You know, it's a possibility Devin moves to 140. But I just recently read as well that Josh Taylor is looking to make his jump to 147. He said he wants the winner of Spence and Crawford, and he feels like the Teofimo Lopez fight will be the fight that proves his worth at 140 and why he needs to move to 147. Now, you know, we all thought that, or at least I thought that Devin Haney would most likely be fighting Josh Taylor next, but it's looking like that might not actually happen because Josh Taylor's looking to move up. Now, does Bob Arum throw a monkey wrench in all that and kind of force a fight? You know, that's possible. Does Josh stick around for Devin? That's possible. You know, will Errol Spence and Terence Crawford both be moving to 154 so Josh won't even get that shot? That's possible. It's all on the table at this point. But when it comes to who's the best in the world, it's obviously Gervonta Tank Davis.
The picture of him twice a year. Yeah.
Kiki, look at this, baby. This is what our kids need.
Y'all let me know what y'all think about all that down in the comment section below. Hit that like button, fun man, share. Subscribe. Holler at me on all social media platforms. That's Facebook, that's Instagram, that's YouTube, that's Twitter. But you're more than likely to get a response on the tube, so holler at me over there. If you want to collabo, feel free to hit my Gmail. It is flockofcards@gmail.com. And we are live.
Hold up, stay with it. So low, you would think I'm a no-show. Gator kicks, not the skin, but the logo. Acosta, fit fresh off the hanger. I'm a game changer. Lanes are in danger. No chain, no ring on my finger, but I'm still fly, so the lanes feel anger. Cause his chain costs about a stack, and they still don't see him like a tap on the back. I ain't a pimp, but I still Mac on the track, and all I really need is some yak and a sack. That way I stay in it. It's your boy Louis Keys, and I stay fitted. Well, you can bet $1 million, you ain't got it like me. You can bet $1 million, you ain't got it like me. I'm looking like $1 million, nice kicks, nice feet. I'm looking like $1 million, nice kicks, nice feet. Hold up, stay fitted. Hold up, stay fitted. Hold up, hold up, hold up, stay fitted. Hold up, stay fitted. Hold up, stay fitted. Hold up, hold up, hold up, stay fitted. You can bet $1 million, you ain't got it like me. I don't give a damn if I'm in the white tee, scuffed up kicks and no jewelry. I'ma still shine like a jewel thief. Louis keys. I don't mean to brag, just trying to hip you to the 7-figure swag. Knots in my pocket so my jeans might sag. Club to the mall, pop bottles, pop tags.
Well, you can bet $1 million, you ain't got it like me. You can bet $1 million, you ain't got it like me. I'm looking like $1 million, nice kicks, nice feet. I'm looking like $1 million, nice kicks, nice feet. Hold